we were watching Hugo Talks video, and he put in the buckle shoes, I thought I'd go and look up buckle shoes myself. It wasn't particularly easy because there is a bit of information. It says that they, well, some say the 17th, 1800s, between that time, that these buckle shoes happened. Because, you know, you think of films, think of things with buckles. And the buckles were all to do with strapping, don't ask me why, around their shoes, but it was like a strap with a buckle on, and then they could put things on it, strap or tie things up with it. So it was more sort of like that. And then what it was is, it goes back to the Romans, but we'll get to that in a minute. And at the same time, we've got Independence Day, maritime law, and all those things happening. So obviously these set is whatever they are, and there they are, buckle shoes. Well, to have buckles on them, it's, well, that was the fashion for a while. Yeah. And then there you go, a bit more information. There isn't lots of information, so but there is a bit. There you go. Used by the Roman soldiers, strap their body armour together. There you go. There you go. It was the Roman soldiers, they're saying, buckles to strap their armour together to their shoes. But that's why they had buckles. And they had buckles on their shoes as well. So, quite interesting, that one. Obviously, Roman shoes were sandals, but we're talking of the soldiers had the buckles. And also, dress wear. That's another thing buckles were used for more elaborate dress wear. Said about the French Revolution at the beginning. See, they're more like belts there, like a buckle up. Seems a crazy thing to do, to buckle everything to your shoe, but anyway. The Roman use of buckles seems to have been mainly confined to military uniform of civilian regalia. And civilian regalia, so more elaborate. Yeah, like the royal family. Buckles. A lot of people in this ceremony will have buckle shoes on. There's one there standing next to Prince Charles, and Prince Charles also has buckle shoes on, which we will see in a moment, but he's got buckle shoes on. There's Prince Charles's buckle shoes. And obviously the man behind has got buckle shoes on, and other people there will have these buckle shoes on. And there goes Prince Charles, even though he looks a bit strange when he's walking. But anyway, buckle shoes. Well, it all goes back to the Romans again! All back to the Romans. And don't forget, other things, other uniforms. That one's the Scottish one, they have buckles. So what are we looking at? Yeah, back to that. Explaining. And when you put one in and you answer, like open one up, then hundreds appear. So you can just go on and on and on. Why are buckles important? Oh, that was about a car, so actually we're getting off that one. The history of buckle shoes, but they didn't talk about the Romans in that one. But it comes from the Roman soldiers wearing buckles on their shoes and on their clothes. So we're just quickly looking at this. You can stop this at any time and look at it, but it still didn't mention it's more of a fashion thing. Let's have a bit of music there, looks sophisticated. Minister of the Navy of England. Yeah, right. Roman then. And we're going to see in a minute, I mean, look at those buckles. And some of them are just to go over the shoes. As we forget, they've put buckles on shoes. What it all means. The buckles. So I didn't quite find what I wanted to in there, so I looked a few more places. Buckles. And uniforms. Court uniforms and dress had buckles. Mid-70s, so that's Samuel whatever his name is. The French Revolution did it, changed everything, but they were wearing it into, they were wearing this stuff into battle supposedly. Look, these ones just fit on the shoes. Still buckles. But you can have them as an accessory, which probably what the royals do, just fit them over the top of their shoes. But they still mean things, and Charles was wearing the buckle shoes. I might add that to the footage actually, him wearing the buckle shoes. Another Roman, but he had buckles on. And those ones just fit over your shoes. Fit onto your shoes, rather. But I wanted to get more of the link with the Romans, but I only found this stuff, but I'm telling you. And it was in Hugo Talks. Buckles. I never really associated them with the Romans. I thought they wore more things like that, tying things up, but it's buckles. Mickey sent me the link to this channel. Very interesting indeed, that he talks about science fiction. So I'm just going to like it and sub to his channel. So please go over to his channel and watch this video. Thank you very much to him. He put this out a couple of years ago, well they did. This channel here. And what I also did was I went and just looked up Victorian science fiction. And I have to say that with everything that they had, I don't think the 1920s had moved on that much, although he explains in his video that it's a combination of Victorian and this and retro and steampunk and other eras, and you know, it's a combination of that. But if you imagine, say, from 20-30 years, not much had moved on yet. They still had Titanic and so forth like that, you know, all these other things and camera. I just don't get it. Have a look at the Victorian pictures and then see the 1920s. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Before I let the slideshow run, I thought I'd give a short introduction. While doing research for my video about pulp magazines, I became really interested in futurism in the 1920s. In case you don't know what futurism is, it's people's vision of what the future would look like from the perspective of their own time. Because we live in the time that we do, this past futurism is called retrofuturism. The 1920s style of futurism is interesting to me because it's right between the two most common forms of futurism we see today, steampunk and atom punk. I'm sure many of you already know what these are, but I'll explain anyway. Steampunk is a retrofuturistic style based on Victorian futurism, when people believed that machines would be operated with a complex series of mechanical gears. There's no electricity, everything is mechanical in some way. Atom punk, on the other hand, is based on 1950s and 1960s predictions. Everything is round, sleek, and powered by atomic energy. Futurism of the 1920s leans more towards atom punk. The aftermath of a massive, destructive war, and both carried an air of optimism for the future. The only difference is that science fiction was not as mainstream in the 20s as it was in the 50s, so it didn't quite fully develop a unique look that permeated society. A unique characteristic of futurism in this period, because they had only rose to prominence after the Victorian era and their popularity ended in the 1930s. So for the following photos, I scoured a magazine called Science and Invention that was published throughout the 1920s. This magazine predictably focused on the latest developments in science, as well as the most recent patents and inventions.